In this video, I will be going over two subjects, cell energetics and thermodynamics. First, we'll start with the laws of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics is that energy can't be created or destroyed. This means that when one form of energy goes into a system, the leftover energy will come back out without being created or destroyed. The second law of thermodynamics says that the total entropy of an isolated system always increases. The increase in entropy accounts for the irreversibility of natural processes. Photosynthesis is the first step in the energy cycle. It is the process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy into chemical energy that can later be released to fuel the organism's activities. Plants use sunlight to synthesize foods from carbon dioxide and water. The overall reaction for photosynthesis is CO2 plus 6H2O plus light equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Carbon dioxide plus water and light create glucose and oxygen. The 6H2O is oxidized because it loses a hydrogen, and the CO2 is reduced because it gains a hydrogen. Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplasts, which contain chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is vital for photosynthesis. It allows plants to absorb energy from light. There are two important regions of chlorophyll: the porphyrin ring, which is the light-absorbing head of the molecule, and the hydrocarbon tail, which interacts with hydrophobic regions of protein inside thylakoid membranes of chloroplasts. Sunlight is absorbed through the thylakoid membranes in the chloroplasts and through light reactions. ATP and NADPH are produced. H2O also enters the chloroplast, but only the hydrogen is used and the O2 leaves the cell as a waste product. The ATP and NADPH go into the Calvin cycle along with CO2 from outside the cell and produce CH2O, which is a sugar. Once the energy is used, ADP and NADP and a phosphate ion are sent back. Humans breathe in oxygen and eat the glucose stored in the plants. They convert these chemicals into energy, carbon dioxide, and water through aerobic respiration. The first step of aerobic respiration is glycolysis. Glycolysis takes place in the cytosol, and it breaks down glucose into pyruvate with the production of two molecules of ATP. Glycolysis removes the hydrogen from glucose and puts it on NAD to make NADH, an energy carrier that will carry it and its electron to the electron transport chain to make ATP. The products of glycolysis are 2-pyruvate, 2-ATP, and 2-NADH. The second step of aerobic respiration is the citric acid cycle, or Krebs cycle. Pyruvate must be turned into acetyl-CoA before it can enter the Krebs cycle. With each acetyl-CoA, the Krebs cycle produces 6-NADH, 2-FADH2, 4 carbon dioxide molecules, and 2 ATP molecules. The third step of aerobic respiration is oxidative phosphorylation. This takes place in the inner mitochondrial membrane. The point of phosphorylation is to create ATP. In the electron transport chain, H+ proteins are pumped above the electron transport chain and into the intermembrane space. A proton gradient forms across the inner membrane because high concentrations of H+ are in the space and low concentrations of H+ are in the matrix. This is the potential energy. The point of oxidative phosphorylation is to make ATP synthase. Then, the H+ protons meet back with the electrons and combine with oxygen to make water. Humans can use the ATP produced through cellular respiration to run or play sports or be active. The body converts the ATP into kinetic energy to do these things. If a marathon runner were running a race, at about the 18-mile mark they would hit the wall. This means they have run out of oxygen and can no longer do aerobic respiration. At this point, their body will switch to fermentation or anaerobic respiration. In the presence of oxygen in a muscle cell, glucose becomes pyruvate through glycolysis, instead of becoming acetyl-CoA like in aerobic respiration.
Created using Powtoon.